Marquette Law School poll released yesterday.
800 registered voters were surveyed in the latest poll, which looked at several issues, including Governor Evers' first 3 months in office and the 2020 presidential race. The director of the poll, Charles Franklin, is here to break down the numbers. Good to see you, Charles.
Good to be here.
So let's start with Governor Evers' approval. What did the poll show?
He's above water. 47% approve, 37 disapprove. 15 say they don't know. But that's interesting because in January, a week after he'd taken office, 38% said they don't know. So people gave him a little bit of time. They're beginning to make up their minds. But he'll still take a while and go down below 10% don't know. Right now, plus 10 is okay for him at this stage.
And one of his more controversial proposals is raising the gas tax.
And that's been a hard sell for years. It's not just now. 57% oppose an increase in the gas tax. A minority, 30-something percent. I don't remember, 39%. Thank you. You know my
I got it right here.
There you go. I appreciate it. Would go ahead and add the revenue to spend for roads. But we've asked that question several times over the last year and a half, and it's always been a little underwater. It had tightened a bit in January, but now it's widened. Opposition was even higher a year ago, so it's in that range. But this is an issue where we've asked other versions of how to pay for roads over the years. People don't think the roads are in great shape. They'd like something done about it, but when we ask how to pay for it, people are really reluctant to go there. The governor is talking about what to do and why it's needed, but there's a persuasion job to be done here.
And we asked Governor Evers about his reaction to the results of the gas tax question. Take a listen.
I understand the reticence around raising taxes. We're trying to modify that as much as we can with a minimum markup. But the bottom line, we know we can't borrow our way out of this problem.
Somebody's got to pay for it.
Somebody has to pay for it, and he's exactly right. People agree that borrowing is a bad solution, but they just don't like any of the other options.
They don't want taxes going up. What about, you asked a question about legalizing marijuana.
Here we've seen a real trend over the last 5 or 6 years. 59% support legalization without any qualification. But for medical marijuana, it's 83% support, and that crosses party lines completely. This is an issue where public opinion has been shifting. I think legislators and elected officials have been a little more reluctant to get ahead of public opinion, but public opinion has really moved, and the medical case is just overwhelming.
83% to 12%. That is. All right, let's switch to the presidential race. Democrats.
Here we're asking for each of the 12 candidates we asked about, would this person be a top choice for you, an acceptable choice, someone you couldn't support, or haven't you heard enough about them?
And it's a big field.
It's a big field, and it's just getting bigger. Even with 12, we didn't ask about everybody. Sanders in first place at 32 here is up 9 points from January. Biden at 29 is down 3 from January. He hadn't declared yet. And Warren is a little ways back in third place. Once we get past Warren, Harris and O'Rourke, you can see are in 10 and 11, but then you're in single digits for everybody else. Also, this order tracks with how many people don't recognize the name or don't know enough yet. Really, we're in the first inning of this ball game. We got a lot of baseball to play before we get to our primary, but we want to see how this develops, and watching the first inning is good to see how the game goes.
And Bernie Sanders has a rally tomorrow at James Madison Park at 5 o'clock.
Wisconsin is going to be very important.
It is. I got a call from a Vermont reporter yesterday because they're coming to follow that rally here.
And this is going to change dramatically.
I think so. What we've seen...
Maybe not at the top, but I mean...
No, what we've seen with big fields in previous years, mostly on the Republican side, is somebody catches fire and zooms up, but then they get scrutinized, and usually they've fallen off after that. Any of this field could catch fire like that and move up. The question is always, can they sustain the momentum and stay in the top of the ranks going into the April primary?
And you also asked people if they would vote for President Trump in 2020.
Here, there's a lot of negativity about that. It's about 28% definitely, but 40% definitely won't vote for him. That reflects that Democrats are almost 100%, at least 95%, definitely not. But Republicans are a bit divided. There are people who strongly approve of the job the president's doing, and those folks are going 95% for him. But almost half as many, as a good chunk, are only somewhat approving, and only 25% of them are definite. 50% are maybes. So those folks may be won back to him as we get into the campaign, and that'll tighten the race. But right now, there's indecision among his supporters and united opposition on the other side.
Only, what, 500 and some days to go?
Oh, if only we could count.
Interesting numbers as usual. A new poll coming out sometime in the future.
Sometime we're going to take a little bit of a break over the summer, but we'll be ready to rock and roll in the fall.
Things will be a lot different at that point,
Yes.
I would assume. Charles, thank you.
Great to see you, Charles. Thanks for
Thank
coming.
you.
Well, the final